This is me sharing with you my journey with IQOX as a mentee and intern. Um, my name is Oghogho Orieno. I'm a front-end developer and intern at iCube Lab. I joined iCube Lab as an intermediate front-end developer with limited real-world project experience. Since joining, I've been learning through hands-on tasks, real development workflow, structured mentorship under the guidance of my lead engineer, Ademola Ogumokun, and I'm gaining the skills, confidence, and exposure needed stronger, to become stronger and more productive, ready developer. My expectation when I joined iCube Lab, I had a clear set of expectations for my growth as a front-end developer. I had hoped to improve my technical skills beyond tutorials, theory, work on reproduction level projects to understand our features to build end to end, learn best practices in coding, structure, and problem solving, gain mentorship from experienced engineers who could guide my growth, understand team collaboration using tools like Git, GitHub, and project management workflows. Build confidence writing cleaner, more efficient, and maintainable code. My key experiences so far over the course of my internship at iCube Lab have been to I have could be the introduction to Linux and Ubuntu, which Joshua introduced me to. I was introduced to Linux and Ubuntu, which were completely new concept to me. In fact, I've never really engaged in a Linux activity prior to my uh, joining in iCube Lab. I have never had any experience with Linux, but upon joining, it was one of the tasks given to me. I was introduced to it, uh, learning how they work, opened my eyes to what developers can do with their system. Um, it was exciting, actually. I was excited learning something new, something I've never done before. I tweeted it on my Twitter about being a Linux person. And that was thanks to Joshua and the OIQ community who supported my growth. And one major push I've had since joining iCube, which is the iCube OX project. The we I was brought in as the lead front end engineer for this project under the guidance and mentorship of Ademola Ogumokun. And under his mentorship, I have grown significantly. Um, Prior to joining iCube Lab, I have very low understanding on the Figma workflow, the workspace of Figma. And upon joining iCube Lab, it was one thing rather, it's one thing for you to read about Figma concept and another thing to actually be able to implement these concepts. And with his guidance, the way he broke down the tasks, which made it easier for me to understand. I was able to carry out my tasks as the lead front-end engineer, following his guidance and his tutelage. Um, the skills I have developed throughout my journey here at iCube Lab, um, they go from technical to soft skill and leadership. For the technical skills, as I said earlier, Linux and Ubuntu. Then with stronger code, Figma to code implementation and interpretation, it has been quite easy to work with Figma. I've come to understand Figma on a more deeper level, and it has been a huge learning curve for me. As a front end developer, understanding how Figma works is a very it's an integral part of your journey as a front end developer. Though like you are currently now, I have grown tremendously, and it's one of my proud moment as a developer. And in terms of soft skills and leadership, yes, even though I am a mentee, I am also a mentor for the front end developers. It's uh at first it was kind of overwhelming, but still it's a beautiful experience to know that even though I'm a mentor, I'm still learning. The IQ platform, the IQ OX platform gives room for even you as a mentor to learn from your mentee while guiding them through their journey as uh, a front-end developer in the IQ OX community. Something I still exploring, growing with, and it's a beautiful experience. The challenges, when we talk about challenges that I have faced, every stage of the journey has its own challenge. The technical challenge, which is adjusting to Linux Ubuntu, like for example, the installation of the Linux Ubuntu was quite challenging for me. But Joshua was there to walk me through every single step. And as challenging as it was a new and beautiful experience that I enjoyed through and through. Then it came to learning to interpret Figma designs accurately. My very first interpretation of design was very rough. Demola could attest to that. He had to like break down the already set tasks to me so that I could understand what it is that is required of me. And the minute I understood what it was I'm meant to do, the whole workflow became easier for me and easier for him as my supervisor and lead engineer. The collaboration, merge conflict. I've only had, prior to joining iCube Lab, I've only had one experience with merge conflict, and that was a side project I was working on with a group of friends. But after joining iCube Lab, the GitHub workflow, I'm starting to understand it better, starting to know what it is, how you operate it, and how better to make use of it while working in a group project such as iCube OX that we are currently working on. The part is personal challenge, especially the personal challenge has to do with stepping out of my comfort zone. In When I say stepping out of my comfort zone, talking about being with a group of people I have never met before. These aren't friends. These are workspace, a professional workspace, and you are expected to carry out your tasks diligently and professionally at the top level. But even though I'm an intern, it's still expected of me to deliver professionally. Yet, here on IQOX, they treat me not just as an intern, but someone being mentored, someone that they realize isn't very conversant with this new workflow. So, this workspace, and it's been a huge boost to my growth and development. And that's something that I am trying to pass on as a mentor to my mentees on the front end. Hope I'm still I can still be heard. I don't know if I've been talking to myself for
Yes,
a while now.
no, yes, I can hear you, sir.
All right. So how I overcame these challenges, despite the challenges that I've experienced during my internship, I learned to navigate them through consistent efforts, mentorship, and intentional practice. Yes, I overcame them. Well, one thing is asking for guidance. As I said earlier, Joshua and Ademola has been a huge help to me. But aside both of them mentioned here, that I've mentioned, I had help from Nancy, my fellow developer. Nancy, well, I had a chat with her on how integrate myself into the workspace. And she said, "Do not be afraid to ask questions. You see, Ademola, meet him, always ask him question. That guy is good. Ask him questions. Do not be afraid. Whatever thing you think you don't know, ask him. He's always there." So it gave me this sort of confidence to continue working, knowing that I'm not the first to go through the system, and this I have a mentor that I could really rely on in case I have some missteps. Two, breaking tasks into smaller steps is one advice Adinola gave to me, and it's also something I have started doing frequently. Whatever task given to me, I try to break it down into smaller steps so I could understand the practices of what was happening and what goes on in my workspace. Consistent practice. This is something I, as challenging as it is working with Figma, the consistent practice working with Figma has improved my skills tremendously. It has made me a better developer than I was yesterday or 2 days back, because even when I was down, not too strong, I was still working on the tasks because I was still trying to understand this. I was excited at the same time scared. Yeah, it was scary yet exciting. It's like two contradicting elements within each other.
Sorry,
And
or
y-
um,
yes,
you your time is getting fast spent, please.
okay. So well, key achievement, technical achievement is successfully transitioning from having no idea on Linux to becoming a beginner on Linux, and I hope to grow more leadership achievements, which I'm proud of. The personal growth achievements, gain confidence through exposure to real world projects such as the OX and the project I've worked on, and I'm still working on. This is the OX learning platform, support platform for the learners. I would have shared it, but I don't think I'm allowed to. So rather than share the code or visuals, I will just have to tell you that's what I am working on. Then the Linux Ubuntu task, which has to do with a USSD stimulator. It was quite interesting working with Linux and using sudo and all of that. And let's go to my growth summary, which I have been talking about for over some minutes now. My strengths, my technical foundation, I have developed myself. My design interpretation has grown. I don't think I'm a beginner at Figma design interpretation. I know what to do, and it's more experience you have under your belt, the less imposter syndrome you have to fight with. What I aim to learn is within the I want to become, in summary, I just want to become a better front end developer and a full stack developer while working and learning the IQOX platform. I want to grab as much as fast as I can. So, in conclusion, my inspiration and consistency. I am grateful to Ademola Ogumokun for mentorship, feedback, and guidance. Joshua Oluntunde for Olatunde rather for introducing me to Linux and supporting my learning. The entire iCube Lab team for the contribute. Thank you for listening.
You're welcome, sir.